everybody. It's your girl, Pajama, with Pajama Life, and we're back and ready to review some really fun and interesting female empowering movies and TV shows. But I couldn't do it without my favorite Kins right beside me. Say hey to the people, Patrick.
Hi, everybody. This is Malibu Patrick here, ready to have fun. Let's play beach ball.
He's gonna beach later.
I'm gonna beach.
And my second favorite pal, David. Say hey to the people. That didn't come out right. You're my number one favorite, David.
I didn't know there was a hierarchy here on.
Somehow I passed you. I don't know how that happened, but whatever.
You're like my fifth best friend in the world on Tuesdays, David.
It's like we're doing.
You're
MySpace
equal.
again.
You're equal.
Can I make your top 10 on MySpace, Cam? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. It's great to be with you all. Looking forward to it. I guess this is GI Dave. I haven't seen the Barbie stuff yet, and that's not what we're talking about tonight, although maybe we are. Great to be with you. Looking forward to chatting about these shows, and we'll see what's happening.
All right. First up, an Indian sci-fi action movie that is interesting called Polite Society. Let's take a peek.
And I am going to be a stunt woman.
We are not that again. Please tell.
Miss Khan, would you say a career as a stunt woman is a serious one?
Affirmative. This is Salim Shah. He's 32, big shot, geneticist, the mastermind behind derailing Lena's future. So that leaves it to us to break off this sham wedding.
We'll need disguises.
Ria, darling, this wedding is going to happen. And as Allah is my witness, I will strike down you or anyone else who tries to get in my way.
David, what do you think?
I gotta tell you, I think we did a trailer check on this, or like a trailer review a long time.
Nope.
I was thinking we were talking about it because it was like, oh, I know this plot. What a fun movie! Have to give it to Bollywood. There's kind of a fun kind of just a style to them that is really something to appreciate. But there was some good slapstick, some good adventure here, and in a bit of a twist, you think people are kind of psycho, but no, they're actually there for the right reasons. Lovely story, knocked it out of the park. Please see Polite Society.
Pat, what did you think?
I did not like it that much.
Oh,
Okay, I'll tell you what I think.
Whoa. Slow your roll.
This is a sandwich review.
It was, yeah, and I'm the meat today. That's fine. I knew you'd like it, Pam.
No.
You're like her.
You're the butter.
But I didn't care for anybody. I was like, man, these people are terrible. I got 3/4 of the way through it, and I'm like, I just can't. I mean, it was just terrible people doing terrible stuff and not in an interesting way. So I love Quentin Tarantino films, and I could tell they were kind of trying to adopt some of that kind of a feel. It's ooh, there's lettering, ooh, there's something. It had that feel to me, like they were trying to tag onto that, maybe, perhaps, imitation of the greatest form of flattery. Pam, stop looking like you're perplexed.
I am very perplexed.
I just was not. I thought I saw the previews for this, and I thought, man, this is right up my alley. But I hated everybody in the movie. They were just so terrible. It was so unlikable to me that I couldn't just get past it. It was just like these people were terrible. They're doing terrible things for terrible reasons. It just had without the redeeming aspect of having really interesting characters. So
you didn't watch the whole thing through, and so I think
terrible.
you'll have. I think that there are some things you missed by not looking at the whole thing. But
That's on them.
I really enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a nice take on a fun way to kind of think about Indian matchmaking and the needs for arranged marriages, kind of with a sci-fi kind of twist to it, and a very fun look at a little young woman as a stunt woman. I think that's the first time I've seen someone declare they want to be a stunt woman in a movie, which is cool. And it's a nice little modern take on these kind of movies and a lot of fun. I think it makes some important kind of messages about being independent and not following maybe the strict dictates of society, but to, be independent. And little girls need to hear that. And so it's a Indian American kind of movie. I'm sure this doesn't fly kind of in other parts of the world, but it's fun, lighthearted, easy, and effervescent. So I say definitely check out, and everybody can watch this movie. There's nothing offensive in it. So definitely check out Polite Society. All right, next up is it's finally concluded. And here it is, the finale of Secret Invasion.
We need a
Let's take a
single
look.
commander whose war power is total and unchecked.
Therefore, I nominate Grav.
I've taken the liberty to prepare a rough copy of your remarks to the nation. The American people need to hear from you, sir.
Species you spent your entire adult life defending. They were condemned to die the day I realized you weren't a man of your word.
Your people need a leader. You'll need resources to fight this, and I can give them to you.
And let me guess, you're doing this out of the kindness of your heart?
God, no, don't be silly.
I'm presenting to Congress for immediate emergency authorization a bill that designates all off-world born species enemy combatants. We know who you are. We know how to find you. And we will kill every last one of you.
Okay, Dermot Mulroney, being all mean. Patrick, why don't you tell us about Secret Invasion?
Okay. I wanted to like it a lot more than I did. The whole series.
Huh.
It felt empty, to be honest. It felt very formulaic overall, the whole thing. And I want to tell you something. I want you to go back and look at this, all you viewers and you guys. Go back and watch the last episode of She-Hulk. And I know it was a weird series, and it was previously the most poorly rated series. But the end sequence when she's talking to the Kevin robot about how you make a good final season, final episode, they took that formula and tried to put it into this. It was like the Simpsons maneuver of like calling it before it happened. Go watch it. I rewatched it tonight because I kind of remembered some of that, and I was like, "Wait a second, I'm gonna go look at that again." So I watched the last episode again, and it is she basically laid out how the end of Secret Invasion was going to run, and she was right on. And so and not just that, but I mean, it felt like making the Super Skrull as powerful as all the Avengers. That just seems to be maybe a kind of a poor choice, perhaps, for long-term storytelling, and it seemed like a convenient out for me to dig into it as much as I want to. Things I loved about there were things I did love about this series. I did love the Nick Fury and his wife relationship. Yeah. Super cool. I thought the Emilia Clarke character was interesting until she became all powerful.
We saw how that went in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know. And but there was some silly. It felt very trite, I guess. It just felt very convenient to make it work like this, and I think it's going to make problems for them down the line. And I know they've been talking about how they're going to try to pare back some of the Marvel TVs because they feel it's diluting the brand. Well, quit making crappy shows would be my advice to them. If you don't want to dilute the brand, make some good ones again. Loki was great. WandaVision is super good. I really like Captain America and the Winter Soldier. There were several of them that were really decent, but when you make ones that are just kind of, this one, I wanted to like it so much better because I love Samuel L. Jackson. I've been one of his biggest fans since Pulp Fiction on. Everything he's done was golden, and this was kind of more like silver. It wasn't as good as he normally does, and I understand he was to a certain extent limited by the writing and the storyline and his age and where they are in this timeline and everything. There's several things that were kind of limiting about this. And like I said, I wanted to like it a lot more than I did. Was it bad? No, it wasn't bad. Was it great? No, it wasn't great. It was somewhere in between. I just felt it was very formula, and I think they've created themselves some more problems they're going to have to try to deal with down the line with some of this storyline, or they're going to have to uncanon this and go to another multiverse or something, which gets really. I know how much you love that, Pam. You know.
Please no.
So I did not dig it as much as I wanted to, and like I said, it was just they avoided the superheroes to the last episode, and then they decided it's felt forced.
So I liked it a lot more than Pat did. Well, it's not. It's probably my fourth favorite, and that's among my super favorites. So I think that I agree with Pat that it didn't make sense to me why Nick Fury gave her really the actual serum. And I was like, well, why not give maybe lesser being serum instead of the most powerful ones? That I was just kind of like, Nick, no, that did not make sense. But I did like that this was more of a grown-up story than some of the other ones have been, and that it was a nice conspiracy story. I think they probably needed a few more minutes to kind of really wrap it up. They kind of wrap things up kind of quickly, and they probably needed this to be, more than an hour to really wrap it up and set up. I still say that this storyline of the Skrull should have been the big Marvel next version of movies, because they could have gone throughout so many different characters and stories versus the multiverse one. So I think that was a real miss for me, but I love Samuel L. Jackson. I normally don't like Olivia Colman, but she kind of tamped down her weirdness. And so I did like her character in this. And Emilia Clarke, I don't know if I really liked her character. And I definitely don't think she should have been made a Super Skrull. Sorry if you haven't seen it yet, but you should have seen it by now. And I was glad. This was one thing that always nobody could figure out. Rhodey, I'm like, the man can't walk. Remember, he got paralyzed in the movies, and nobody noticed. He's walking around, running around, doing all kind of stuff. I'm like, Rhodey was paralyzed. Don't nobody know this? So I thought some of the things like that in this, I was like, what? No. And here's another thing. Why couldn't Nick call Priscilla Vara when they were in their own home? And they didn't go out as a couple. Why not just call her Vara? I was like, wait a minute now. And I was just like, I don't know about this, but of course he lived because he's going to be in the Marvels coming up in the fall. But I don't think they did his character justice, because it's always, well, you're not who you were. You left us. I'm like, golly, come on now. Let the man just be the man and not some superhero. And so throughout the series, I'm always like, well, why has Nick Fury got to save everybody? Why don't some of y'all save yourselves? That's the kind of was like, let this man feel his trauma. I mean, really, if Thor could have trauma, why can't a simple human have trauma? So I was like, but I enjoyed it. I thought maybe it was I would give it an A-, but it's not up there like number one. But I think they have some places to go in the series. So I hope the series continues, because it would be interesting to see this storyline as a series. David, what did you think?
You know, my first thought is that and you mentioned minutes. I think it needed another episode or two to kind of expand it. I think a longer story might have helped, because it is an adult story. There are some real serious themes here with that. And I think that's to its credit. It did try to be serious. And the first episode was great because of how you saw people morph in and out, and it showed the great possibilities of it. I liked that aspect of it very much. I actually am a fan of Olivia Colman. I think she's a fantastic actress.
Yes, she is.
I love her approach to being a little over the top, but but U.S., British secret intelligence groups, there's a lot of going on with Olivia Colman that resonates with the relationship that the Brits had with the U.S. beginning in World War II, even into the 1980s, in the 90s, where British intelligence in some respects had longer coattails, but didn't have enough money like we did to get into some of the areas. So I loved that aspect of it. Great to see Emilia Clarke. The whole Super Skrull thing, there were some issues there. I'm not informed, and I'm not as you all are with the Skrulls and the Marvel kind of canon, to kind of maybe compare and contrast. So to me, it was like, it's okay. But if you know the kind of the mythos of it more, I could see where this would not be as strong. Again, I liked it. It's a big step up from Ms. Marvel. It was a big step up from She-Hulk, but it's still, I think the one with the young lady was Ms. Marvel. Not to be too critical, but that was more for kids, just for adults. Being the big B+ area, I'd say more of that for me. But it was fun to see. Always great to see Samuel L. Jackson. And yes, we don't need to have heroes who always they wasn't that long ago. He was, and I'm sure he's going to be, the BMFer in the movie. So that's not, so this, he's kind of weak, and now he's got to come back to full strength. That's a trope that Disney is really using too much in its stories. Cough, cough. And they could have done Samuel L. Jackson and Nick Fury a little better.
Yeah. And I think that it's still something that preteens and teenagers can watch together with family, and we'll look forward to seeing what's up next with it. I'm really excited to see where they're going to go. I hope they do go in an interesting direction, because I think this has legs. So definitely check out, engage for yourself. Secret Invasion. I just miss going invasion. All right. Finally. Oh, I've been waiting for this series to come back, and they came back good. I mean, they came back strong with Invincible, the origin story of Adam Eve. Let's take a look.
Your daughter is a fighter.
So what do you want then? I want to do something that matters. I can make stuff. What? Like out of thin air. Stop it. It lets you. If I can do that, imagine what I can do to those dumb masks you're wearing. You ruined my life. Took everything from me. I am Samantha Eve Wilkins.
You can't use your powers, Samantha. You can't.
It's Adam Eve when I'm in costume.
Okay, David, what'd you think?
Neat story. Love the animation. I'm not sure how that would be described. I know there's different styles of animation, but I really like the way it looked. So fun story. That was one of my favorite lines. I'm glad your esteemed producer put that in there. Call me this when I'm in costume. I loved that. I thought that was good. This was a fun story. It's a good prequel. I have to go back. I don't remember the other show that well, but this was cute. This was a fun little movie to see. Definitely a nice flavor for the summer.
Yeah. Pat, what did you think? I think I read the comic, and after you recommended it, what'd you think of this one?
No, this was good. It was a nice little palate cleanser from the other two shows I had to watch this week. This was good. It was light. It had a good comic feel to it. It felt unforced. There's obviously source material that was good. I enjoyed it. The anime style was decent. Like Dave was saying, that had a good visual style. It felt like,
it's a classic 2D style.
It felt like the Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Pokemon stuff you saw back in the 90s that my kids were watching, that I walked through the room and absorbed just because they watched it all the time. It was pretty good. I did enjoy this. I enjoyed the original, the Invincible that we watched. I don't know if they're doing another season. I suspect they are.
Yeah, it'll start November 3rd.
So I'm looking forward to that because that was decent. It was just dark enough, and with the misplaced Seth Rogen voice, even. I mean, I like this. This was good.
Yeah, and it was Invincible was. I mean, definitely go check out the comic. I ended up reading it. It is incredible. You can find it on Hoopla and at your public library. You can buy it on Amazon. But really great source material. And I think they did this Adam Eve just right. It was, told the story, showed the origin, also some origin stuff of the other characters, or at least an early scene of the other characters. And which is an important part if you go back to the series. It really feeds into it well. And I just really enjoyed this. I liked her character. And so it makes sense now when you go back and look at Invincible, her kind of rationale for who she is. And I tell you what, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, I mean, the stuff they put out, cracking on all levels. Those guys are fantastic. I saw Barbie today, and they're doing the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that is already got 2 sequels coming out from it. It has tested so positively. So I'm really enjoying this series, and then what's going to be coming up in Invincible. So I think it's kind of an adult story. Maybe little kids, it might be a little tough for them. So preteens and teens could watch this and really have some fun. So I think definitely check out Invincible's Adam Eve. All right. Well, that takes us to our show. And next week we have is that the scene for Super Mario Brothers? It's gonna finally be out on Peacock. Hidden Strike on Netflix, a comedy action movie starring Jackie Chan and John Cena. And fellas,
oh yes,
New
World.
Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Okay.
The guys have twisted my arm to watch the crossover episode with Lower Decks and the musical episode. So we'll cover both of those.
Yep.
And we'll watch them. The guys are loving.
I've already been watching them. I'm already caught up. I'm waiting for the musical one now. It's all there is. They are that good, guys.
Incredible. All we got now is add Sweet Magnolias and my Pajama Life Perfection
Oh.
experience. Can't live without Sweet Magnolias. That's the theme. Think about that show.
Oh, well, that's definitely because that's a book. So maybe you and I can do that separately. So we can look at it together. But definitely come back and check us out. Hey, David, say goodnight to the people.
Good night, everybody. Enjoy your viewing of films, whether you're Barbara Heiming or Netflixing or whatever you're doing. But have a great week, and we'll see you back here again on Pajama Life.
All right, Patrick, say goodnight to the people.
Good night, everybody. All y'all that are in the hotter parts of the nation, stay cool.
Yeah, and you can stay cool with my Christmas in July diverse holiday movies are out right now, and catch us live Sunday. Well, David and I will talk about Hotel for the Holidays.
Right.
Come back Sunday and check us out, and we'll see you then. Take care.